Hello, everybody. You know who I am, but who is in front of me? Oh, look at it. He's already waving. Yeah, we got special guest, a VIP. We have one of my former students live on the Zoom call, which will soon be a YouTube interview. Yeah. So in front of me, I got Yuma, and Yuma took class with me for a while. We're not going to talk about classes right away. We're going to talk about Yuma first. So to start things off, Yuma, how are you?
Oh, fine.
I
Just
think it's
resting today.
yeah, it's days off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk a bit about what you do for work, even though who knows, maybe for you it's like I don't really want to talk about work. Yeah, but eh, for me, it's part of life. But first, so Yuma, I gotta remember everything. I'm gonna say where you're from, and you tell me if I'm correct. So Yuma, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, is from Leon, Guanajuato, right?
No.
No. What?
No. It's near to Leon, but it's
Okay.
another place. It's called Curamaro,
Okay.
Guanajuato.
Mhm.
It's like 45 minutes away from Leon, so it's pretty close.
Okay. But still Guanajuato, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'm guessing you're probably used to people asking where you're from, whether they're Mexican or American, and you probably just say, from Leon, because you don't want to explain all the
Yeah,
details.
nobody knows where's Curamaro. Nobody knows
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
everyone knows where's Leon, so it's easy to say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Because I remember you telling me where you're from. You said Leon. I was like, oh, yeah, I know where Leon is. Yeah, but not nice. Well, not quite Leon. It's a little bit further away. All right, so it's in Guanajuato. Did you ever go to school or anything in Leon, or did you spend all of your youth in your hometown?
Curamaro. Everything was in Curamaro.
Okay, all right. So you're originally from Guanajuato, and of course it's Guanajuato, and it's 2025. Uh, in the past, Guanajuato wasn't a dangerous state in Mexico, but nowadays I've heard some stories. So you're from there. Of course, you don't live there permanently right now, but is it dangerous right now or is it exaggerated by the news? What's the situation right now in Guanajuato, especially by Leon?
Well, yeah, sadly it is. It is dangerous. Not particularly in my town, but you always hear stories about someone at night that got assaulted or someone who got kidnapped. It's not likely if you go there, it's going to happen to you, but you will hear stories all the time.
Okay. So yeah, as long as you stay out of trouble, as long as you follow the Mexican rules, don't drive alone at night in Guanajuato
Yeah.
State, you should be fine. So yeah, if I wanted to go to, I don't know, Leon to buy some shoes, it'd be totally okay to go to Leon to buy some shoes.
Yeah.
That's all right. All right. So of course, you're from Guanajuato, but you don't live there right now. So right now you're living in, well, is it in Chicago or is it in the suburbs of Chicago?
In the suburbs.
In the suburbs. All right. I'm guessing I don't know where it is, but I guess for the people, yeah, which part of the suburbs? Is it a famous place? It's like Oak Park. Is that Oak Park a suburb or is it part of Chicago? I don't
No,
remember.
but Oak Park is close. It's
Okay.
like 10 minutes away,
Oh, okay. Well,
something
that's
like
not
that.
too far. 10 minutes
Yeah.
driving?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Because yeah, I went to Chicago once. I went to Oak Park. Yeah, Chicago. It definitely. I'm from Canada, but America, well, the United States feels different than Canada. It's very similar, but Canada feels like a small United States. Even the cities feel small. I remember going to Chicago. It just felt huge. It felt huge to me.
Yeah.
What was the first time you went
Yeah.
to Chicago?
My first time was in 2018. It was the first
2018.
time I came here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah. Because I thought maybe because you have family in Chicago, correct?
Yep.
Like that's your connection. Do you still live with your family or do you live by yourself now?
I live with my family still.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first time because it's not like your father, like it's not your father, your mother. Isn't your like uncle, your cousins? Who do you live with right now?
Yeah. My uncle and my aunt and my
Okay.
cousins.
Okay. And how long have they been in Chicago for?
Me?
Or your relatives? Yeah, your uncle, your
Oh, no.
aunt.
I don't know.
You don't
I
know.
remember them. No, I remember them living here since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So
Oh, so they've been there ever since you can remember. They've been in Chicago. Okay,
yeah,
but you never visited them until 2018.
no.
Okay.
Even
So,
I was born here, but I was never here
oh, okay. Yeah,
before
yeah, yeah.
2018. Yeah.
Okay. So your mom gave birth to you in Chicago.
Yes.
Okay. So and then as soon as you were born, did she go back to Mexico or did she spend like I don't know a year, 2 years in Chicago?
No, they stayed like 6 months and
Okay.
then they went back to Mexico. And
Oh, okay.
and I never came back.
He never came back. So yeah, even though Chicago's your birthplace, you never really
Yeah.
got to know it until a few years ago. Mhm.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So I
and you were
was
born,
21.
yeah, yeah. So you're born in Chicago, so that means yeah, you had your American passport.
Yep.
Yeah. So what did you have first? Did you have your Mexican passport first or your American passport first? Which one did you
The
have
American
first?
one first.
Ah, yeah. Is that why your mom stayed for 6 months? Like we got it, we're gonna wait until Yuma gets his passport and then we'll go back to
Yeah.
Mexico. Ah, smart. That's a smart mom right there. All right. Because I wanted to ask you, yeah, because for me, when I went to Chicago, I think I went to Chicago in 2017, maybe like a year or 2 years before you went there for the first time. And yeah, for me, it's similar to Canada, but still, big American cities feel a lot different than big Canadian cities. But of course, I've also been to Mexico City, which is for Mexicans called the Monster. So I'm curious, what was your first impression of Chicago? Do you think it was huge? Did you think it was weird? Did you think it was amazing? What did you think of Chicago when you first got there?
Everything was so huge,
Mhm,
especially because I'm from a small town in
mhm.
Mexico. So the change was so radical when I come here because everything was so huge and you needed a car to go everywhere, even if the shop is at the end of the street, you need a car because if you go walking, you're gonna spend like 1 hour going there.
Yeah, for sure. That's one thing. I've had a few students tell me that, where yeah, the first impression is yeah, they go United States. Because of course, public transportation in Latin America isn't, the best in the world, but still, in most places, you can take a bus places, and you can also walk around. If you in your neighborhood, you can go a block and there's a little corner store you can buy things. But yeah, a lot of students they kind of assume that you're going to go to the United States, it's going to be similar. I'm going to live in a house, I can walk 5 minutes and there'll be a grocery store or something. And then they get there and they realize, oh no, it's completely different. Yeah, you need a car to do anything.
Yeah,
And yeah, the transportation in both Canada and the United States, the public transportation is, I don't know, kind of sad, kind of scary sometimes.
it's terrible.
Yeah, yeah, it's not the best. It like might be maybe a little bit more modern compared to, I don't know, an I don't know, a city bus in Mexico, but still, I think when I was in Canada, like in Vancouver, it felt good, but in other cities, I felt a little bit like, ooh, I'm taking public transportation. In Canada, United States, I felt a little bit scared to do it. But yeah, you have to drive everywhere. So that was one of the first impressions you had was, yeah, you need to have a ride or you need to get your own car if you want to do things in the United States.
Yeah.
Mm. Do you do you have your own car now, or do you get rides from your family?
No, I have my own car now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I remember you telling me you had your own car.
Yeah.
Well, I'm I'm curious about that. What do you think about the car culture? Because obviously having a car, well, who knows? Maybe you don't have insurance, but like a lot of gringos will complain, especially gringos like me who go to Latin America. We like not having to pay for car insurance, not have to pay for gas. Like it's really expensive. So like, do you like do you like having a car? Like, do you feel like it gives you freedom, or do you feel more like it's a pain in the ass because I gotta pay for insurance, I gotta pay for maintenance, I gotta pay for gas. It's a lot. It's expensive.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both because I like to have my car because I can go everywhere, anywhere when I want. But the insurance is expensive, the gas is expensive, the maintenance is expensive. Well, the gas is not that expensive as in Mexico because
Oh,
Mexico is
really?
so it's
Okay.
ridiculous. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but still you have to pay for anything.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, there might be somebody watching this who's hasn't been in the United States. Maybe they're calculating costs, how much it's going to cost. If you could estimate, how much do you pay a month on gas, would you say, in American dollars? If you had to estimate, how much do you pay?
Uh, $150 maybe.
Okay, actually, that's not too bad. $150. Okay,
Yeah,
and yeah, and
yeah.
you
I
drive.
have a
Yeah.
small car, so
Okay, so it's
it's
really efficient on gas.
yeah,
Okay, and yeah, because you drive back and forth to work, well, almost every day, right?
yeah. Because I remember I had a truck and I had to spend like $60 per week in gas.
Yeah. Okay, so like $240 per month, more or less. Yeah.
Yep. Now it's basically the half of it, so it's better for me
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, trucks are a big part of American culture, but they're definitely a lot more expensive on gas compared to little
Yeah.
cars.
Also in Mexico, Mexicans like to have big trucks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, well, because well, I don't know, because Guanajuato is Bajío, but there's lots of cultural exchange between like northern Mexico and the United States. I think the cowboy culture from the gringos is originally from the norteños and maybe the Bajíos as well. So there's a lot of exchange because yeah, most of Latin America, yeah, trucks aren't that popular. But they go to like northern Mexico, maybe Bajío. I think yeah, Bajío, you're saying that they have trucks. Yeah, a lot of trucks. Because yeah, when I go back home to Canada, like half the vehicles are trucks, but in southern Mexico, Mexico City, or Colombia, or Argentina, yeah, trucks. They're not a popular choice. All right, so uh, you talk about vehicles. Well, I guess talk about work. So, well, start with Chicago. So you visited in 2018, and did you immediately move to Chicago in 2018, or did you just visit and then you went back home and then you decided I want to go to the United States?
I immediately moved to Chicago in 2018.
Okay, all right. So, so like, because some people, they visit a place and then for example, my ex-roommate from Guadalajara, he was kind of like that. He went to Vancouver and he was only going to stay there for 6 months, like a tourist visa. And then he decided that he loved it. So he just overstayed his visa, worked illegally as a construction worker, and he ended up, yeah, he's still there living there. Uh, in your case, was it like you were only going to visit, and then you decide, no, I like it here, I'm going to stay, or was it as soon as you left Mexico, you said, I'm going to go to Chicago, I'm going to live there?
Well, I was in a difficult situation because I had to leave the school. I was studying digital arts in the uni,
Hmm.
and we had money troubles at home. So
Okay.
I decided to leave the uni. And since I was born here, I said, well, I can work here and then pay my studies. And I
Hmm.
came to work and I'm still here.
So, so yeah, you wanted to keep on studying, but yeah, you started to work and you haven't been able to keep taking your studies.
Yeah.
So what kind of digital art were you doing? I don't know, was it like 3D animation? Was it graphic design? What kind of digital animation?
I
Or
was
did
like,
yeah.
a little bit of everything, like music, like animation, illustration, all of that.
Hmm. And so are you still wanting to take that back up, or is it something like, I don't think I'm gonna do it now?
I don't know
You're not too sure?
because it's been a lot of time now, so
Yeah.
I think I'm in a different situation in life now, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I
you're
still
not too
have to
sure?
think about it. Yeah.
Okay, still thinking about it. All right. So you get to Chicago, 2018. So as you said, we have financial problems with the family. So you go to Chicago. Actually, I have another student from Mexico, and he lives in Atlanta. And whenever because I know you go back and forth to Mexico quite a bit, maybe not every month, but you go, I don't know, how often do you go back to Mexico? Like every twice a year, 3 times a year? How often do you go back to visit your family?
Normal, it's like 2 times a year.
2 times a year? Okay. Yeah, because
Yeah.
with my other student, sometimes he'll take the bus. So he goes from Atlanta all the way to Hidalgo by bus, which seems pretty crazy. Sometimes he like tries to get the cheapest flight. So he has to do the crazy layovers where he has to go like to Seattle and then has to wait 8 hours. Then he has to take another flight to like Los Angeles and then he has to take a flight to Hidalgo. So yeah, in your case, when you go back home, do you take a bus? Do you Do you fly? How do you usually go back and forth from Chicago to Mexico?
I use it the easiest way. I just take a plane.
Yeah.
I get the ticket for a direct flight, so
Mhm.
it's not so that difficult for me.
Okay, so it's a bit more direct, a little bit easier for you. That
Yeah,
seems like there's some, Mexicans and Latinos, they like to make things difficult by saving money and
yeah.
they'll
I don't want to complicate things for me.
yeah, yeah. So just easier to fly. All right. So right now, yeah, you're still working for Amazon, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you arrived in Chicago in 2018. Did you start working for Amazon right away, or what did you
No.
first do?
My first work was in construction.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
completely hated it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's very common for especially Latino immigrants, well, males, not females, but males, that they'll work in
Yeah,
construction. So, but yeah, it's
yeah.
probably not for everybody. So yeah, in your case, you didn't like construction at all. What was the main reason you
No,
didn't like it?
no, it's so tiring. That you need to stay there the 100% of your time. You don't have time for yourself, and it's kind of depressing too.
Yeah. Like how long? Because actually, there's lots of memes. Maybe you've seen the memes about the Mexican construction workers, but there's lots of gringos who have the memes about, gringo construction workers and Mexican construction workers. And the joke is you give the Mexican construction workers a pack of Coronas and they'll get the job done in 1 week. Whereas with gringo construction workers, they want to only be working 8 hours. They want special benefits and they're going to get it done in 2 weeks. Right. So it's kind yeah, from what I hear, like for Mexican construction workers, yeah, they work long hours. It seems like that was your experience too. So the hours were they like 12 hours a day? Were they 14 hours a day? 6 days a week? What were the hours like in construction for you?
Uh, it was sometimes it was like just 8 hours. Other days were 10, 12, or even 14 hours a day.
Okay, yeah. So it really just depended on where they were at
The project,
in the
yeah.
project. Yeah. Okay. And so yeah, it's a bit schizoph I would say in English, schizophrenic, the schedule. The schedule was always different, so it's hard to make plans and to enjoy your personal life.
Yeah, because sometimes we also had to work on Saturday or Sunday, and it was mandatory.
Yeah. Like yeah, you couldn't
So
just say, "Hey boss, no, I don't want to work on Saturday. I'm gonna stay at
now
home." No, no. All right. So how long do you work in construction for then?
2 years.
2 years. Oh yeah, so that's quite a yeah. So yeah. It wasn't like 2 months,
Yeah,
you were tired of it. It wasn't like you're you're a coward, you're a pussy, like, oh no, it's too difficult. 1 month. No, you did 2 years and it's like, no, I can't do it anymore.
yeah, 2 years until COVID came, and then I lost the job, and I went back to Mexico.
Ah, okay, okay. Oh, so that's what happened. Okay. Yeah, so COVID came. Obviously, a lot of projects got canceled or paused. So you went back to Mexico. And when you came back to Chicago, you said, I don't want I don't want to do construction again.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, Mexico was a lot more relaxed during COVID. Is that the main reason you went back to Mexico was because it was more relaxed and there's more freedom, or was it because yeah, just there was no work in Chicago, so you preferred to be back home with family?
yeah, and also I think all of the reasons were why I went back to Mexico because I could enjoy my family, my life. I had good savings, and I'm from a small town, so COVID didn't hit us that bad as in the
Mhm.
big cities. So
Yeah, yeah. So you had more freedom, and you had enough savings
yeah,
to basically live off for a little bit. Well, yeah, because
yeah,
I worked construction too when I was younger, like 15 years ago, and in Canada is pretty good pay, but at the same time, I know you know, of course, you had the American passport, but I know as I hear the stories about Mexican immigrants working construction. I'm not too sure. Is the pay good? Is the pay horrible? Is the pay okay? What's the pay like for
it's
construction?
good.
It's good,
It's
yeah.
really good to pay, but
Yeah, yeah.
for me, it's not worth for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So like the pay is good, but it's not worth all the sacrifices you have to make in order to make
Yeah,
the money. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of jobs in the world that pay you really good, but you have to sacrifice a lot of things. So what's the point? Okay. How long did you stay in Mexico for then for pandemic? 1 year,
1.5 year.
1.5 years? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you went back to Chicago and did you immediately go to work for Amazon or was there something that you did in between?
Now I immediately go to work for Amazon. I was looking for jobs and I applied in a lot of places, and Amazon was one of them. And they called first, so I went
Okay.
there.
Uh-huh. Okay. So basically, I'd be from what, 2021 or 2022? When did you start working for Amazon?
Mm, 2021.
2021? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah. And you've been there ever since. But one thing that always, I don't know, piqued my interest in the classes, your schedule's a little bit strange in Amazon. I always thought like Amazon would be like Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, but it kind of seems like you have a bit of a strange schedule. Does your schedule change every month more or less?
No, it's the same since I started work there,
Okay. Yeah.
but it's like Sunday to Wednesday, so
So Sunday to Wednesday. And how many hours is it? 12 hours a day or 10
10
hours?
hours.
10 hours
10
a day,
hours.
Sunday to Wednesday. So yeah, you get Thursday, Friday, and Saturday off. You get 3 days off, right?
Yep.
Okay. And yeah, you like that schedule?
Yeah, because I have 3 days off, so I can
Yeah.
relax myself a
Yeah,
lot.
exactly. You get 3 days off. Yeah, 3 days off is pretty nice. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
But I think because of course Amazon, they have how do you call it? Oh, what do you call it? Yeah, high seasons. So I think was it during Christmas, like November, December, you have to work
Yep.
extra hours? Is that how it works?
Yep. The high season are in Prime Day, and
Mm-hmm.
it's July or June. So it may change,
Hmm.
and December,
Okay.
which is the hardest one, December.
So during the high season, is it basically working every day or is it working longer shifts or is it a bit of everything? Working longer shifts
Both.
and both? Okay.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, let's say it's, I don't know, end of November. You're working basically 7 days a week and 12-hour days. What are the shifts like?
No, I'm working 5 days a week, 11
Okay.
hours.
Okay. So like 1 hour extra and then a day extra as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, well, you've been there for a while. So I don't know. How do you like the job at Amazon? You've been there for a while, so I'm guessing it's not the worst thing in the world, but like I don't know, the good benefits, good pay. What are your thoughts about working for Amazon?
Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world, but can be so boring because
Yeah.
you basically don't have another human contact, and it's pretty repetitive what you have to do.
Yeah. So because I think you're not like a delivery driver, because I know lots of students of mine, they, work as an Amazon delivery driver. But yeah, your case, you're working in the warehouse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like I'm guessing you've seen the South Park episode with Amazon. Uh, but yeah, because you said you're working by yourself, so you don't really talk with your coworkers that much. It's more or less like you in a certain section of the warehouse and just, moving boxes
Yeah.
and
Yeah, because we have our own spot in our own workstation,
Mhm.
and the other people is too far from you to be talking.
Yeah. So do you have like a relationship with coworkers or is it like really independent work where you don't really know your coworkers that well?
Yeah, it's like that. Well,
Yeah.
you can sometimes talk to them and make friends, but you won't see them so
Hmm.
often,
Hmm.
you know?
Okay. Yeah. Seems like an interesting job. I've seen like videos and I watched the South Park episodes, so I wonder what it's like. So yeah, in the warehouse, moving boxes. So it's 10 hours a day. But I'm guessing, like, are you allowed to wear, I don't know, headphones, like listen to music and stuff while you work, or is it like they don't allow any sort of cell
Now,
phone or anything?
they allow just the approved ones by Amazon.
Okay, but like approved what music or approved applications or approved cell
Now,
phones?
approved headphones.
Headphones, okay.
Yeah.
Uh, so, hmm. So approved headphones. That means like they're because some businesses or like the United States government,
Yeah,
they'll
they
have
sell them to you.
oh, okay, okay. So you can listen to your music, but you have to buy the headphones from Amazon if you want to listen
Yeah.
to music. Okay, interesting. How long? Because you've been there for a few years. How long do the headphones last? 6 months, 1 year, and they have to buy a new pair?
I don't know because I actually use mine
Okay, all right.
headphones, but
Uh-huh.
they don't know that.
Okay, it's a secret. All right. Well, hopefully nobody at your work watches this video then.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
hope
think they
so.
will. I don't think they'll watch it. I'm not popular with the Amazon management, I don't think. All right. So now you've been in Chicago for yeah, for a few years now. Well, since 2018, more or less. Uh, so plans, I know right now you don't really have any big plans, but do you see yourself in the future staying in Chicago or would you like to go back to Mexico? What do you think?
I like to get a remote job and go back to Mexico and come to Chicago and think that
Go back and
thing.
forth. All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm. Well, yeah, you gotta go back to studying, digital art so you can, you know, get the
maybe.
sk- get the skills to get a remote job. Yeah, good plan.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's everything I want to talk to you about your life. I'm just trying to think if I had any more questions about Chicago. I don't know, anything else you want to add about Chicago or Mexico before we move on to the classes?
I
Oh,
don't know.
actually, winter. I don't know, Chicago's famous for winter. Yeah, maybe the last thing. What do you think about Chicago winter? Is it a well, I think in English we say, is it a bitch to deal with or it's manageable? What do you think about Chicago winter?
It's horrible. Usually I like the cold, but being here made me to hate the cold.
Well, yeah, because I get that sometimes, because I'm from Canada, so I'll get Latinos saying, you know, how's Canada? I say it's cold. Oh, I like the cold. And I'm like, "Oh, do you really like the cold? Because there's a difference between Mexican cold and Canadian cold or Chicago cold or Minnesota cold. So yeah, for you the cold is a bit unbearable. I'm guessing. Well, Chicago's known as a windy city. I could. Is it really windy in the winter?
Mm, isn't it's not that really windy, but I remember they say it's called a windy city for another reason,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't remember why.
I think I heard it's called the Windy City. It has something to do with corrupt politics because Chicago is known as the most corrupt city in the United States. So I think it has something to do
Yeah,
with I don't know why, but wind with corruption. But because I know it's Chicago's on the lake. I think it has a beautiful what do you call it? I don't know what it's called for lakes, but it has a boardwalk and people go jogging. Has a nice parks and stuff. But I'm guessing in the winter, I can imagine the winter, the winds coming from the lake must make things colder, but I'm not too sure if it's
yeah, and it
makes
gets
it worse.
frozen.
Yeah, yeah. Because that for me the worst thing about Canadian winters and I guess northern United States winters, yeah, it's just the wind. As soon as you get a little bit of wind, that wind chill, it just makes things
Yeah,
depressing. Yeah. But I'm guessing you get good snow days. You get lots of snow in the winter.
yes, a lot of.
Yeah. I like snow. So even though there's wind chill, I don't like wind chill that much, but when you get a big dump of snow, it's always fun to go outside and play in the snow. Do you like the snow?
Yeah, I used to like it
You used to like it, yeah.
the the very first time I was here, but now it's just
Yeah,
a
no.
pain in the ass.
Yeah, the pain in the ass, yeah. Not your thing, not your thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So anybody think about going to Chicago, just remember, Chicago is cold. And as Yuma says, if you think you like the cold, well, maybe think again because Chicago cold is different than Latin American cold for sure. All right, well, Yuma, I want to talk about the classes then. I use this
Okay.
opportunity to find out about what you guys thought about the classes and also to help future students understand how my classes work. So I guess the first question I gotta ask you, I always ask my students, is how did you find out about me? Was it on YouTube? Was it on Instagram? Was it from a friend told you about me? How did you find out about me?
I was saying YouTube.
YouTube. All right, I think you're the
Yeah.
first one. It seems like everybody so far says Instagram. Okay, you're the first one that said YouTube. Do you remember the video?
Oh. No, I don't remember the video, but I remember mm, YouTube started to suggest me a lot of creators from another countries that
Hmm.
also speak Spanish. And I saw your videos and I remember, oh, this guy is funny. And
Okay.
after that, I found out you were giving classes.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So because were the videos about English or were like, because sometimes I have videos about other things. Yeah, I don't know, because I try to be funny in my videos, but at the same time, yeah, based on what you're saying, oh, I watched some funny videos from him, but I didn't know he taught English. So was it like a video
Yeah.
not about English that you saw first, or was it a video about, I don't know, English vocabulary or something, and it was funny while you watched it.
I don't remember. I
You
don't
know,
remember.
yeah, it's been a long
No,
time. Yeah, because that would have been, I don't know. When did you first find me? Was it 2018 or 2019?
I think it was 2020 when I
Oh,
was in
2020.
Mexico.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's yeah during the pandemic.
yeah,
Yeah, because I think I remember when you started the classes. Yeah, I think because you were in Mexico when you started the classes, if I remember. And then I don't know, a month or a few months later, you went back to Chicago. So
yeah.
yeah, all right. So 2020, you find out about me on YouTube. All right, and now, wh- what was the main thing? Well, actually, one thing that always surprised me with you is that you speak really good English, and because you took class with me for yeah, how long? How long did you take class with me? I think it was like 3 years,
I
wasn't
think it
it?
was 3 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
3 years. Because you started in, I think I might have saw some old schedules or attendance lists from 2021, and I think you were on it because you started in the
yeah,
pre-intermediate classes, and I think it was 2021 when you started, and then yeah, you took class with me to like 2024, I think, right? So like
yes.
2021, 2024. So yeah, about 3 years. Oh yeah, what was I talking about that for? Yeah. So with you, your English always seemed pretty good, and you took class with me for a long time. Like I thought, after about a year, Yuma's going to be tired of taking these classes. So I'm a bit curious. What was there anything frustrating you about your English at the time you started taking classes, or did you just want to, take some classes and learn some English? Was it like just something for fun to do?
Well, the first time I came to the United States, I thought my English was good,
Hmm.
but once I was here, it was a completely different thing. I needed a lot of vocabulary. Sometimes I didn't understand all the idioms or what people were talking about. When they start to talk so fast, I cannot understand anything. And my English is not that good as I thought. So I think I need some classes for next time I go to the United States. So
Okay.
that's why I decided to take your classes.
Hmm. Yeah, 'cause you said a few things that were bothering you about your English. Was there one thing in particular? Because you talked about, when you were listening, like you couldn't keep up with what they were saying, said the idioms and the vocabulary. Yeah, was there one thing in particular that was bothering you, or was it kind of just a whole bunch of things that you wanted to improve?
Yeah, it was a whole bunch of things.
A whole bunch of things? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, just of course, yeah, listening to real gringo speak. Yeah, we speak really fast. And of course, we use a lot of idioms and vocabulary that you're probably not going to learn in classic institutes in Latin America. All right. So when you start taking the classes, was there one thing you wanted to improve? Or again, was it just like you wanted to improve listening, you wanted to improve your vocabulary, you wanted to improve idioms? Was it just a whole range of things you wanted to improve, or was there one thing that you wanted to improve when you started?
No, I want to improve everything.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And then so one thing about my classes is that yeah, we do cover everything. So yeah, were you pretty happy that we didn't just focus on grammar, for example? We didn't just focus on writing, we focused on pretty much all aspects of English.
Yeah, and especially that's not a conventional class that's so boring. And you have to learn the structure and this word is pronounced like that because that's the normal classes are so boring. So when I start your classes and we start to sing, to watch some series or movies or games, even I think that was what kept me in the classes.
Hmm. Okay, good. Uh, oh, I had a next question I wanted to ask you. I had in my head, but now I forgot it. Oh, now first month of classes. Well, first, because yeah, my classes are very different, and even on social media, I'm a little bit different on social media too. Did you have any expectations? Like when you first started classes, did you think they were going to be like this? You think they're going to be like that? Any expectations, or did you go into classes with an open mind and you just wanted to see what they were like?
Actually, it was gonna be like kind of a regular class, and it was a good surprise for me when it was totally different to
Mhm.
what
Yeah,
to what
yeah,
I was expecting.
yeah, yeah. Because well, I don't like to talk about it because I find with Latinos they say, yeah. don't talk bad about other teachers. So it's like, okay, I'm not going to talk bad about other teachers, but that's
I
one
don't
thing
care.
that, yeah, that's one thing that drives me crazy because I always see, other teachers saying, "Oh, my methodology is different. It's completely different." And then like you go to the curriculum and it's like, we're going to learn the verb to be, we're going to learn the continuous, we're going to learn this grammar, we're going to learn how to have a conversation in an office. And he's like, well, that's exactly the same as regular classes. So yeah, that makes it a bit hard for me because yeah, I'll get somebody like you who's like, all right, here's Profe Kyle. He's cool, he's funny, but he's like, oh, different methodology. Sure, Profe, yeah, sure, Profe. Everybody says they have a different methodology. So yeah, for you in your case, you realized, oh, he's not lying. Like when he says he has a different methodology, it's
Yeah,
actually a different methodology. Uh, maybe yeah, what was the yeah, because you said you were a bit surprised. There's a pleasant surprise. What was the biggest surprise about the classes that first month or that first few months that you took the classes?
I think it was we can actually talk to you, like
Okay,
have
all
a
right.
funny conversations,
Okay, yeah.
like relaxed conversation about every of us, how's our day and that kind of stuff,
hmm So yeah, like
because that makes me connect with you.
mhm. Yeah, for me it seems like something very simple. But yeah, because
Yeah,
for the first 20 minutes of classes, usually you guys come to class and I ask you guys how you're doing, how is life, and then even during the class, maybe you or somebody else has something interesting. We'll have a quick conversation about, that
yeah,
aspect of your life.
or sometimes if we have some time after the class to play a game.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, those things for sure. Yeah, because I think with a lot of from my own experience learning languages in courses, yeah, it's always very structured, which isn't a bad thing. But I think one thing I've heard from other students that have taken my classes is that the classes are structured, but at the same time, you guys have freedom to, talk about something that's interesting to you or ask questions. Whereas with other classes, it's no, we're doing this. That's what we're doing for the class. I don't want any distractions. Yeah, just try to keep your mouth shut, take notes, and that's good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you noticed you. Now, the first month, because again, my methodology is different, which you admit. I've asked other students, and yeah, they always say the first month is a little bit crazy because yeah, the methodology is so different. So each class is something different, and it can be a little bit overwhelming. And I've had some students say the first month was really difficult. I thought about stopping, stopping taking the classes, but then I said I'll do one more month, and usually after 2 months, 3 months, they get used to the methodology and you know they keep going with it. So yeah, in your case, the first month was it? Did you find it difficult, or yeah, you were pleasantly surprised and you were just happy with how everything was?
Yeah, I was completely happy. It was so funny for me. Actually, I gotta admit, I was thinking about stopping time before I stopped, but the funny classes made me continue.
Okay, okay, yeah. So, oh, that was the
Yeah,
first month. So, like the first month, you were like, maybe I'll just this month is good enough, and then I'll stop. But then you took some of the classes were funnier than others, and you said, okay, no,
yeah,
I like this, so I'm gonna keep
and I
going.
kept going. Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's good to know. Well, yeah, I guess I can ask you now since you talked about so the funny classes or the funnest classes. So, what were your favorite classes in general?
The music ones.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't expect you to say the music ones. Okay, yeah, because I don't know. For me, if anybody watching this, for me, Yuma doesn't seem like the guy who's gonna be singing and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm a bit surprised that Yuma said the music classes. So I guess we'll talk
No,
about
I
that
usually
then.
don't sing,
Yeah,
but it was so funny
yeah.
to see
Okay.
everyone else singing.
Uh-huh. All right. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
everybody has to be a little bit ridiculous in the singing class. So I guess in your own words, for anybody watching this, how would you describe the music class and why did you like the music class?
Hmm. It's funny, and it's a time to just relax with music, to look some ridiculous trying to translate and sing the music. It's just to have funny
Yeah,
while
yeah,
you're learning.
yeah, yeah. Me personally, I like the music classes too because yeah, even for me as the teacher, it's relaxing. It's not. too difficult to teach. Of course, I got to make the lessons and everything, but in the class, yeah, it's you guys are relaxed, I'm relaxed, everybody's having fun, everybody's interested normally. Who knows, maybe I choose a bad song and people are less interested than usual, but in general, people seem to be enjoying themselves. All right, so you say music was your favorite. Any other favorites? Oh yeah, music was the top.
The movie talk.
Movie talk. So that's basically I want to take. Well, because you took pre-intermediate classes and intermediate classes. So because the movie talk are different for both. Like, did you like both movie talks, or did you? Yeah, you preferred more the intermediate one.
I don't remember the pre-intermediate ones.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, I think you only took like
Yeah,
one or you didn't take too many months of pre-intermediate. I think I moved you pretty quick to the intermediate.
yeah, I think it was only 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months. Okay, yeah. So for the intermediate movie talk, yeah, normally I take, series or a movie, not the entire movie. If anybody's watching this, we don't watch the entire movie because we don't got enough time. It's only 90 minutes, so we can't watch an entire episode or something like that. But yeah, we take parts of a TV show or a movie and yeah, we basically analyze it, learn new vocabulary, and try to figure out what they're saying. So you really enjoy the movie talk classes. Yeah, that's also very relaxing class. Yeah, you like the relaxing classes. You like the music class. You like the
Yeah,
movie talk classes. Yeah, you just want to relax, absorb the English through listening. Yeah, it's Yuma style.
yeah,
Now
exactly.
you took classes for 3 years, uh, and again, like for me, you even from the beginning, I found that you spoke really good English. But it seems like yeah, you wanted to improve your listening. You wanted to improve your vocabulary. So after taking classes for 3 years, what would you say improved the most with the classes?
I think my vocabulary.
Vocabulary, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because vocabulary you can learn from many sources in the classes. So it could be from the movie talk, it could be from the dialogues, it could be from the stories. So just coming to as many classes as you could and basically getting all the vocabulary that you could from the classes. For you, was it easy to use the vocabulary in real life? Like for you, learning the vocabulary, was it more useful because you could use it with people, or was it more useful because you could listen to conversations or watch shows and understand what they were saying?
I think both because I remember I started to at the beginning I used subtitles to watch shows, and then I stopped to using them, and also I could uh, talk to more people at work or even in the street or sometimes. So yeah, I think it's both of both.
Yeah, because I find for listening, there's two things that I've learned from you guys, my students, when it comes to listening. If you want to get good at listening, you have to get more vocabulary, and you gotta figure out how gringos are pronouncing. And then once you get enough
Yes.
vocabulary and you figure out how they're pronouncing, it's pretty easy to listen to conversations. Yeah, was that your experience as well?
Yeah.
Mhm. All right. It's, that's how the methodology works. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because he's give like some quick examples. I'm not sure. Do you have any? Of course, if you don't have any, that's totally fine. Sometimes when people ask me this question, I think, I can't think of an idea right now. But do you have any examples from real life where I don't know, you use something from class, or you realize the class was really helping you? Was it like a conversation, or like you're watching a movie and just, oh wow, like I've improved a lot. Any examples?
I don't have an exact example, but I can say when sometimes when I was hang out with friends and they were having a conversation and they would use a word I learned from your classes and I say, oh, I remember that word. Oh, that's what it means. So yeah.
Yeah. It's made made it easier to participate in conversations when you could understand
Yes.
what people were saying. Yeah. Yeah. I'm similar. I don't really have like a singular moment where I realize something. It's just more a whole bunch of tiny events adding up and you realize, oh, well, my Spanish, no, in my case, my Spanish is pretty good. Yeah, it's not that bad, my Spanish. All
Yeah.
right. And okay, because people always ask, I get this question all the time, so I need your help. People always ask me, How would you describe your methodology? And for me, my methodology is very difficult to describe. So I put the burden on my students. I say, okay, I don't know how to describe it. I want you guys to describe it for your fellow Latinos. So the best you can in your own words. It could be one sentence, two sentences, or you know, a speech of 5 minutes. How would you describe the Profe Kyle methodology?
It's a difficult one.
Yeah,
So
yeah. For somebody from Guanajuato, you got a cousin in Guanajuato who says, "Hey, I want to learn English." You say, "Oh, Profe Kyle." Oh, it's like, how would you describe the methodology? Yeah. So, what would you tell your cousin about the Profe Kyle methodology?
I think it's like learning something while you're hanging out with friends.
Oh, I like that. That's short.
Yeah,
Actually, it's not the first time I heard, well, not exact words, but yeah, somebody else told me the same thing where, yeah, it just feels like you're hanging out with friends and you're learning English. Yeah. And I like that description because I want my classes to be relaxed. I want you guys not to be stressed out. I want you guys to just let the English enter your brain. All right. Okay. Good. I like the description.
yeah,
And
because
yeah.
we watch movies, we listen to music, we even act the scenes of the movies we watch. So yeah, it's like having fun with friends while you're learning.
mm, I like that. I like that. And of course, even though I might consider my methodology perfect, Yuma, but I gotta be humble. I gotta be humble sometimes. So I'm gonna ask you, is there anything, if you could, is there anything that you would change about methodology or the classes that you think would improve them in any way?
I don't know.
You know? Well, of course, if it's perfect, you can just say they're perfect. But yeah,
Yeah.
of course, if there's something that you think, yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice if Profe Kyle did this, it would make the classes even better.
I don't know. Maybe more games.
More games.
Yeah.
See, Yuma just likes the games, right? So more games. All right. I'll think about finding more games I can do in class. All right. And we're getting close to the end here. Just a few more questions. Uh, I always ask this question, even and most of the time people just say, I would recommend it to everybody, but I'm gonna ask it anyways. Is there a particular person, like who would you recommend the classes to? Do you think there's a particular person that would like these classes? And do you think there's a particular person that wouldn't like these classes? Yeah, who would you recommend the classes to?
Well, I think people who struggles a lot paying attention will definitely love these classes.
Okay, yes, like so,
Like
yeah.
me, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
People who likes to pay attention, people who struggles paying attention, who likes to have some fun, and just yeah, just having fun, will love the classes. And people who don't like the classes, I think is that people who likes everything so structured
Yeah,
and likes the old methods.
mhm. Yeah, so yeah, people who just like want to get a vocabulary list and to
Yeah,
go word by
the poor
word.
people.
Yeah, yeah, boring people. Yeah, okay. So boring people won't like these classes. Okay, I like that. I don't want boring people in my classes either. I prefer people who like to have fun.
Yeah.
And you speak really good English, so sometimes I forget to ask this question, but I think it's a good question to ask. If you could go back to the beginning of when you started to learn English, like would you do anything different to learn faster or to learn better? Is there anything that you wish you would have done when you were more beginner or pre-intermediate?
Mm, no, I think it's my process was pretty fine because I really needed a boost because all my English came from video games or TV shows that are in Spanish, and it gave me this good pronunciation.
Mhm,
But it wasn't enough for me. So when I came to your classes, it was like a boost for me.
mhm,
Like everything is improved so fast.
mhm. Yeah, like it's like I don't know. drinking coffee or drinking a Red Bull. It just gives you that
Yeah,
extra boost to learn English faster. It gives you wings. Profe Kyle gives you
yeah.
wings. Uh, all right. And oh yeah, you talked quickly right now about how you played a lot of video games and it gave you good pronunciation. And yeah, I think you speak really good English. So I don't know if there's one piece of advice that you would give to somebody else learning English from Latin America. I don't know, what would be one thing that you would tell somebody if they want to learn good English? What would you tell them to do?
Play video games in English, watch movies and TV shows in English, put all your devices in English, expose yourself to English as much as you can. Yeah, I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, it definitely it takes your what whether it's Spanish, English, Greek, Chinese, whatever it is, it just takes your learning process to a whole another level. All
Yeah.
right. Good. Well, Yuma, I don't think I have any more questions. Is there anything else you want to add about either the classes or about learning English before we end the interview?
Subscribe to Profe Kyle.
Yeah, that's good. Even though I watched some videos about that, they say that people don't actually subscribe when you tell them to subscribe. So in my YouTube videos, I don't tell people to subscribe anymore. They have to love me. They have to love me. And if they love
Yeah.
me, they'll subscribe naturally. But it's a good idea. If you watch all the way to the end of this interview, do like Yuma said, subscribe so you can see more interesting content from Profe Kyle. All right, Yuma. Well, yeah, thank you very much for sitting down with me and talking about the classes. Yeah, I think you stopped taking classes. If yeah, how long ago was it? When was the last month that you took classes? Like, was it August or October, November?
No, I think it was August.
August. Okay, yeah. So it's been a few
Yeah.
months. So yeah, yeah. Everybody watching this, Yuma took classes for 3 years. So it's definitely a surprise when Yuma told me, "Yeah, Profe, I'm not coming next month." Like, oh, Yuma, not Yuma. Yuma, you've been here for so long. So it's always a
Everyone was
sad,
crying.
yeah, yeah. It's always a sad moment when I lose one of my students that's been with me for a long time. So of course, Yuma, I miss you. At the same time, life goes on, and I know that you're on to bigger and better things. So good luck with everything. And I was
Thank you.
happy to have you as my student. And yeah,
Thank
any
you.
exciting things happen in your life, you tell me because I'll be happy to know that you're doing well. So everybody,
Okay.
thanks for watching this interview. Yuma, again, thank you for doing the interview. And everybody, I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.